Hi, it's Rebecca from Dystonia and me, doing my second vlog as part of my vlog and blog for Dystonia Awareness Week. Today I'm focusing mainly on the way people cope with dystonia, and that's coping, looking at both physically and emotionally coping with dystonia. There's different ways people do both. I think I'm looking at it mainly from a personal point of view, as it's such an individual thing. So obviously I can't speak for everybody because people do such different things, and it would be, I just can't speak for everybody, and it's such a roller coaster of a ride, really. So physically, obviously, there are lots of medications and injections and even surgery that make coping so much easier. Medication-wise, gabapentin is sort of my miracle drug, and I think if I didn't take that, I'd be in a lot of trouble. And Botox injections, which sounds crazy saying that, because obviously it's widely known for its cosmetic properties, but Botox injections is sort of my saviour. Without it, I'd be lost. I wouldn't be able to talk or eat or drink anything. My jaw would be over to the side and pretty much dislocated all the time. It makes a really big positive impact on my life. Be lost without it. And I have it every 6 weeks, and it really helps me cope. I'm very, very lucky that I get that on the NHS. I don't know what I'd do if I lived in a country where I'd be expected to pay for it privately. I'm very, very lucky. Emotionally, it's very, very up and down. I know that when I come towards the end of the 6 week period, where it starts to get to the point where I'm in a lot of pain, and it gets towards where I'm having to have my injections again, emotions get a little bit askew. I don't deal with pain very well, but who does? Don't like it. And the more pain I'm in, the more emotional I am. I do things like meditation twice a day to try and keep calm. And I'm very, very lucky that I have a very good positive support system in place. I have a very upbeat, supportive family that I live with, who all look after me and try and do what they can for me, and friends that will come cheer me up when I need it. So I'm quite lucky in that respect. And I have a wonderful neurologist who, who will allow me to email him. The poor man. So it doesn't matter if things take a turn for the worse. I'm allowed to just shoot off an email going, I don't know what to do. So that helps me cope. It's a very reassuring thing to know that he's okay with me doing that. But like I said, it can be a bit of a roller coaster. When things get tough, I find it very hard to pick myself back up from. For example, when my jaw gets very bad, I find it very hard to make myself go out to things like college. And even though my college are extremely supportive and my class are absolutely wonderful, I feel fine once I'm there. They've never made me feel self-conscious. They've never stared at me when I've been spasming. They've made jokes, which has made me laugh. It's been wonderful, and it's made me feel, if anything, less self-conscious and made me join in. But it's making myself go, which I find quite hard. I tend to become more drawn as the day goes on, and I find that quite difficult. and I get quite upset, and it's trying to break those cycles. And one of the things I find most comforting, if you will, is my blog, because it's quite therapeutic. It's a way of getting my emotions out there, and knowing that there are people reading it and commenting on it who know exactly what I'm going through and can relate to it and will comment on it and say, oh, I also experienced this, this is how I deal with it, or my physiotherapist or my doctor or my cognitive behaviour therapist has told me to do this, or why don't you try this, I find this helpful, is really reassuring. It's nice knowing that there are others that can relate to it, and that picks me up. It often makes me smile, because obviously you don't meet many people with dystonia, and it's nice to have that reminder and be able to think to yourself, oh, I'm not alone. There are other people who understand exactly what I'm going through, and in a lot of cases there are worse off than me, and as much as I feel extremely sorry for them, and I really wish they weren't going through it, because it's such a hideous condition, it's so nice to know that I'm not alone, and that's such a reassuring factor that often that's all I need to know. And being able to keep in touch with so many people through my blog or through Facebook or Twitter or whatever method is normally the factor that keeps me going, and that's mainly often how I cope. Yeah. Tomorrow I think I'm going to be doing a vlog on the different therapies that are available, so I'll be uploading that then. But I've got a blog coming later, so I'll be uploading that probably onto Facebook first, so I'll be doing that soon.